again, this is Gina from HauntedFlower.com and HauntedFlowerReviews.com, and today I've got more DVD Blu-ray reviews. This is Robotech, the complete series, which we'll be discussing first. Then Page 1, Inside the New York Times on Blu-ray. And then finally, American Pickers Volume 2 from the History Channel. Let's talk Robotech, the complete series. This thing is a beast. This is a sci-fi anime that premiered in 1985. It has 85 episodes, which is easy to remember. This has everything. It has the first Robotech war over 5 discs. The first war, humanity discovers a crashed alien ship, and there's a big battle against a race of giant alien warriors, and they want to get the ship back, and Earth is nearly destroyed, but humanity comes out victorious, and they gain knowledge of the energy source called protoculture, which becomes a problem throughout the entire series as other aliens come looking for it. And humanity also learns of the Robotech Masters. About the first Robotech wars, I can say it's definitely the 80s. The first one was the Macross Saga, and then the second Robotech war is the Masters Saga, because the Robotech Masters show up. They come seeking that darn energy source of the protoculture, and since the humans have it, they want it. The humans don't like it, they fight back, the Masters are defeated, and the Earth gets totally covered in the spores of the flower of life, which is a source of protoculture and a beacon. And then finally you have the third Robotech war, which is the new generation. Invid show up this time. This is the alien of choice, and they see the flower of life and they're like, yeah, and they're gonna conquer the planet. And they reference the other 2 wars quite a bit to help catch everyone up to speed. And there is a group of freedom fighters who work their way into the final battle, and you know, they fight, and I think the people win. This is the Robotech Archives. This is a sick amount of extras. There are over 10 hours of extras here. A lot of it has never been on DVD before, so I'm going to go through some of them for you. You've got the Robotech Universe documentary from Carl Masick. That's awesome. Robotech music videos, Robotech overview, alternate versions of select episodes, Robotech the movie supplementals, promotional reel of the Robotech launch in China, over an hour of deleted scenes, Robotech the Sentinels promotional video, Macross original pilots, Muspida original pilots part 1, original opening and closing animation, Galaxy of the Stars Harmony Gold promotional reel, toy commercial and video presentation reels, international clips for all 3 Robotech wars, and a ton of stills, character bios, model sheets, pre-production art, comic book covers, merchandise galleries, and much, much more. Your head will explode from the amount of Robotech that is in Robotech, the complete series, from A&E. They're the ones releasing this. If you're a big Robotech fan, this would be something to put on your Amazon wishlist for Christmas. Next, we have Page 1, Inside the New York Times. This is a documentary that takes you inside the New York Times. If you've ever been wondering at what goes on, this basically follows the paper over the course of a period of time and shows what kind of challenges they face throughout the year, how they get their stories, what kinds of reactions they get from their stories, good or bad, political or not, how other newspapers react to them, and how they're reacting with basically the newspaper crisis, in that ultimately someday we're going to probably stop printing newspapers, and they can see it coming. There's layoffs in the movie. It's just kind of an interesting slice of life look inside this position, this job, this company. You also get some interesting special features here, because you get Carl Bernstein on the real threat to newspapers. You get Emily Bell on how to keep journalism relevant. These are all extended interviews, and this is the subject they were speaking about. Sarah Ellison on the mind of Murdoch. Journalists react to Page 1. That's kind of an interesting one where they go around and talk to people talking about the movie. Additional scenes, and there's also Q&A highlights with the cast and filmmakers. And a mini feature, Tim Arango in Iraq. It's fascinating seeing the competition and what the New York Times is trying to do to survive, and how it's evolved over the years, and how it's helped shaped history with its involvement, because they're not just reporting, they kind of have to make history while they're reporting it with some of the stories they report. So this was kind of a cool one, maybe worth a rental. Lastly, we have American Pickers Volume 2, also from the History Channel, like Pawn Stars. I have to say I prefer Pawn Stars. This has 8 fan favorite episodes on 2 discs. And what's different about this show is that these are like antique fans, and they just run around in their van, knocking on doors, meeting people, going to warehouses, and just picking through everything, trying to find stuff of value. The thing that really surprises me is what the assumed values for the items are, because they'll pay a certain amount, but they have an assumed value of usually twice that. And I just gotta know, when they put up that assumed value, how often does it sell for that? Because so rarely does it say, you know, we bought it for this and we sold it for this. So you can actually see, wow, they made a significant profit here. The rest of the time it's just like, you know, bought for this, assumed value is this. I'd really like to see them sell it for that. I want to know, does it sell? You don't know because they just put up a lot of assumptions. The thing I like most about it is hearing about the history behind the items when they're really important, and I like seeing restorations when they happen. They do not happen very much in this volume. They had a lot more restorations in Volume 1. You follow Mike and Frank around. They have like a little comedy routine they basically do in the van where they make fun of their worker back home who is always there finding these picks for them, and she always asks to go on the picks and they always say no and kind of tease her and give her lots of trouble. And that's their little reality show bit, like, haha, we're funny characters, this is our relationship. Nah, they're okay. I just would rather watch Pawn Stars because you see money actually being exchanged back and forth and you know what people can get for these items. Between American Pickers, Page 1 Inside the New York Times, and Robotech the series, this has to be the win just because of the sheer amount of content. If you are in any way interested in this series, this is pretty darn amazing. But if you're just looking for something kind of light this week, here's a rental and here's something you can watch on TV. So thank you for watching this review, and I hope you'll catch me next time for another Blu-ray, DVD, anime review, or movies in theaters. Take care. See you next time. For more reviews and to find out about free contest giveaways, go to hauntedflowerreviews.com. My reviews are also available as a podcast on iTunes. Search for Haunted Flower Reviews and subscribe and leave us feedback and comments. Our store is hauntedflower.com, where we specialize in fantastic licensed apparel from movies, TV shows, video games, anime, and more. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/hauntedflower and Twitter at haunted_flower.
If you're local to the Indianapolis area, visit indiemojo.com for details on how you can win free screening passes.